Welcome to this week's Lost Tapes review with your host Matthew Salzer. Today we're going over the episode Death Raptor featuring the Owlman. It starts out with Peter Gray and Jolene Sherrick, who are paranormal investigators for a TV show, going to a church in California in the small town of Fallview. They go there because supposedly there's some kind of a winged creature hanging around the church and the forest nearby. They go in. While looking for a pastor, they see an elderly woman named Hazel Van Leer. She starts talking incoherently until the pastor, Grant Bolton, sends her off. They then have an interview talking about how over the past few years there's been what can be referred to as a demonic presence that's been hanging around. It's described as having wings, pointed ears, glowing eyes, being the size of a man. Recently it's become more active. They also interview Hazel, who says that she had a similar experience when she was a child from Cornwall, and she has a feeling that followed her in the United States. They go up into the bell tower of the church, where Peter suggests that it was probably just a large owl on mistaken identity. They see a bunch of things going on there, such as a bad odor, the skeleton of a pigeon. There's a screech at one point, but Peter suggests it was a pigeon. When they go up there, they find an owl pellet, which is the size of a football, which of course is unusual. As Peter starts to go through it, he finds the lower jaw of a human being. Afraid that he might have found evidence of a crime, it's sent into the local law enforcement in case there's a missing persons case. They then go to the house of Sue Ann Mills, who's also been seeing the creature. Her mother talks about how they've been having nightmares. There's also chalk on the sidewalk showing the creature. Janice, the mother of Sue Ann, is extremely worried because she's become withdrawn. Sue Ann is very catatonic in their interview. Both of them agree to accompany Peter and Jolene that night at 6 p.m. to the forest. They go in with all sorts of equipment such as digital audio recorders, IR thermal cameras, and other equipment. As they go in, Jolene begins to feel lightheaded. Suddenly they are attacked. They cannot see the creature, but there's a large shadow that goes back and forth, screeching and rustling. Can't pick anything up on the camera. At one point, Sue Ann disappears. They find her, but the creature keeps going after them, so they quickly head to the church. Pastor is there, and so is Hazel. The creature goes into the church and starts swooping around. The pastor suggests they all go to the altar, but it still heads around there. Hazel realizes that it either wants her or Sue Ann, so she walks out, and after that, the hauntings disappear. Peter hands the tapes over to local law enforcement afterwards in hopes that they'll be able to find Hazel, and he and Jolene suspend their series, and they never investigate again. Hazel's body was never recovered, and she has been missing ever since. Sue-Ann recovered and went to school and was living a normal life. While the creature was never seen again, there were still strange noises heard in the woods. This is one of those episodes that suffers from inconsistent acting. Peter Gray, who's an actual real-life paranormal investigator, he appeared as a fictional version of himself, did a good job. So did the actress for Jolene Sherrick. However, everyone else is all over the place. Again, this is one of those episodes that relies on the Jaws effect. The church location is actually a Presbyterian church in Los Angeles. It was pretty well done. As you can see, it's a very beautiful church. As I said, episode is a mixed bag. There's some good acting, there's some bad acting. The location is good, the effects, not so much. Very rudimentary. Either way, not one of the better episodes of Lost Tapes. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below what you would like to see next or what you thought of this episode. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Matthew Salzer. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.